I don't care about that girl, my mother-in-law said about my 9-year-old daughter. My husband heard her and didn't correct her. On the contrary, less than 24 hours later, he said something worse. My wife doesn't understand these things. She'll sign what we need. A week after my lawyer sent the formal notices, the firm that prepared those papers called Omar with a tense voice. What I signed was not what they thought. It was a Tuesday, 2 weeks before Christmas in Saltillo. Alma was still in her school uniform when Yolanda decided to say it out loud. We were in my kitchen. The oven was starting to heat up, and my daughter was trying to stick a paper snowflake on the window. Yolanda was by the counter as if it were her own house, holding a cup that no one had offered her. Omar was leaning against the refrigerator with that don't exaggerate look he wore when his mom crossed the line. Yolanda pointed at Alma without lowering her voice. I don't care about that girl. Alma's hand froze. The adhesive tape folded over her fingers. She didn't cry. She just blinked, as if trying to convince herself she had misheard. Omar didn't correct his mom. He didn't even look at Alma. He looked at me. Then Yolanda slid a manila folder across the counter. This has to be signed today. Omar finally spoke. Miriam, sign it. You don't need to read all of that. In that moment, I understood they weren't asking for my help. They were pushing me out of the way. And I decided I would sign, but not what they brought. The first rule of my house had always been simple. Alma comes first. I said it from the beginning calmly, as something obvious. 2 months after marrying Omar, we had a small lunch at Yolanda arrived 40 minutes early. She let herself in with the key Omar never told me he had given her and started moving cushions and candles. Alma came down in leggings, a sweatshirt, and hair still damp from her bath. Yolanda made a face of disgust. Is she going to be dressed like that? She asked Omar. Not me. He smiled too quickly. Mom, it's fine. Yolanda looked at my daughter. There are girls who aren't taught how to dress themselves. But you're still in time to learn. Alma didn't answer. She went back upstairs. I followed her and found her sitting on the bed, folding a blanket over her legs. She has no right to talk to you like that, I told her. Alma shrugged, trying to look older. It's okay. She likes you better. That sentence stuck in my chest. I went down and told Omar we are not allowing comments about Alma's clothes. He kissed my cheek. I don't talk to her. He didn't talk. He just softened the moment. Yolanda learned that if she pushed, Omar would cushion the blow. 2 weeks later, another rule appeared disguised as a favor. We were at a large stationery store, picking out decorations for a school Christmas project when Omar's phone rang. He stepped aside and returned with that careful voice of someone who has already decided. My mom wants to help with Alma's Christmas presents. I was still trying to keep the peace. How kind. Omar added. She wants to take her herself. Just the two of them. Alma's face tensed up. I have to go. Omar let out a light laugh. No one is forcing you. But he looked at me. Not at Alma. As if it were my job to convince her. We can all go together, I said. Omar's smile faded. Mom says it would be easier without so many opinions. Without me. Love, it's just shopping. Let her feel included. I saw Alma looking at the floor tiles. We aren't doing solo outings, I said. Not yet. Omar's jaw tightened. Why do you have to make a problem out of everything? A rule in my house stopped being a rule and became negotiable. The next scene happened in the entryway. It was already dark with the cold December air. Omar had offered to pick Alma up from school because I had a late meeting. When I arrived, I found her sitting on the step with her backpack on and red cheeks. What happened? I asked. Alma got up quickly. Nothing, I'm fine. Inside, Omar was on the sofa, with his shoes on, looking at his phone, Why was she outside? He didn't even look up. She didn't want to come in. Alma spoke softly. He was talking to his mom. Omar sighed. Mom just asked how things were going. Alma got sensitive. I turned to my daughter. What did she say to you? Her eyes filled up, but she forced herself to speak. She said I was lucky you married Omar because now I finally had a real family and I shouldn't ruin it. Omar rolled his eyes. That's not what she meant. I stood still. You let her say that to Alma. Miriam, my mom is from another generation. She doesn't want to hurt her. Alma whispered. Yes, it hurt. Omar looked at her for half a second and turned back to me. See? That's why I didn't want you to set so many rules. You make everyone tense. That's when I saw Omar turn the hurt into me being dramatic. That night, when Alma fell asleep, I asked him, have you ever told your mom to stop? He tried to hug me. Don't start. It's almost Christmas. I stayed quiet because I didn't want Alma to see another breakup. Not after she had lost her dad. Omar knew that. Yolanda did too. The fourth scene was calmer, and that's why it was worse. We were at Yolanda's house decorating Christmas cookies. She put Alma at the dining table with frosting and sprinkles. Then she handed her phone to Omar. Show her. Omar cleared his throat. My mom found a financial advisor. He handles family estate issues. And what does that have to do with me? Yolanda smiled. Omar told me you received something when your first husband passed. We have to protect the family. My mouth went dry. That is not a topic for a meal. Please, Miriam. I know there is money set aside. Don't pretend there isn't. Alma looked up, confused. Omar spoke softly. Babe, Mom just wants us to be responsible. Yolanda leaned in. Whatever money came in from your situation should benefit your current family, not just your daughter. Alma's shoulders slumped. The money Alma's dad left protected is for Alma, I said. Yolanda smiled without warmth. We'll see. On the way back, Omar kept his voice calm. Mom is just worried. I think she's being very narrow-minded. She called Alma your daughter as if she didn't exist here. Miriam, you take everything personally. I watched the Christmas lights behind the glass. It's not personal, it's my daughter. Omar nodded, but it wasn't agreement. It was that kind of patience, used to wear someone down over time. By the time that Tuesday arrived, I already knew the pattern. Yolanda controlled by pretending to help. Omar didn't yell, he spoke quietly, as if that made what he was doing reasonable. Alma took it all in and then tried to handle it on her own. Then Yolanda arrived with the folder. It looked official: dividers, sticky notes, a law firm's letterhead, copies of IDs, and paper-clipped forms. Yolanda placed it on my counter as if she were placing an obligation. Omar was behind her, close enough to make it clear where his loyalty lay. What is this? I asked. Some documents, Yolanda said, a draft power of attorney, account authorizations, and adjustments so Omar can manage certain things if needed. My things. Omar entered with a soft voice. It's routine. If something happens to you or you can't handle things, I need to be able to move and leave. If something happens to me, my will already provides instructions on who should take care of Alma. Yolanda narrowed her eyes. We aren't talking about custody. Don't be dramatic. We are talking about money. Alma was at the table with markers, making a card for her teacher. She went still. Omar stepped closer. We are behind on some things. This would help sort everything out. Mom knows people who know how. Behind on what? I didn't answer. Not in front of Alma. Yolanda lifted her chin. She doesn't need to get involved. Alma's marker squeaked on the paper and stopped. I asked Yolanda, why are you here with this? Her smile widened. Because Omar said you aren't very good at understanding paperwork. He said that if we explained it well, you would sign what's necessary. Omar didn't deny it. Mom, don't put it that way. Yolanda shrugged. But it's true. She's gonna sign what we need. Alma's chair scraped the floor. She got up and went upstairs without saying a word. My hand stayed on the counter. Omar, did you tell her that? He looked toward the stairs and then at me. Miriam, you're making it sound terrible. We are a family. Yolanda tapped the folder. Sign today. We need it before the holidays. I looked at the yellow tabs pointing to signatures with urgency. Then I looked at Omar, who couldn't hold my gaze. I nodded. All right. Yolanda's shoulders relaxed. That's when I stopped arguing out loud and started thinking in silence. I didn't sign that folder. That night, I made dinner, packed Alma's lunch, and kissed her on the forehead. When she fell asleep, Omar brought the folder to the room. Let's just finish this. I sat on the edge of the bed. Tell me what you're behind on. He rubbed his jaw. Credit cards, some personal loans, and I took out a loan to fix the roof of my mom's house. You asked for money for your mom's roof. She needed help. And you didn't tell me. You were gonna get upset. My voice came out flat. So your solution was for me to sign papers so you could touch my accounts and Alma's trust. It's not like that. It's to make things easier. For whom? He looked away. For us. I opened the folder. The first document was a general power of attorney for acts of administration and ownership, pending notarization. My name appeared on several lines. This would give you broad authority to act on my behalf. Only if you can't. And who defines that? He opened his mouth and closed it. It's standard. I turned to the next tab. Bank accounts, assets, trusts. I felt a chill down my back. Why is there a section for trusts? Because you have one. Alma has one. Omar's voice dropped. We are married? That affects the house. Alma's trust is not household money. Omar? His face tensed up. You're acting as if I were a stranger. Right now, you seem like one. He looked at the folder, then at me, and said the phrase that changed everything. My mom is right. You're not that good with these things, that's why we're helping you. He didn't shout. He said it as if it were obvious. That was what scared me the most. The next morning came the first humiliation. Alma and I were going to school. The wipers cleared a light drizzle when Omar called. When I put him on speaker because Alma liked hearing him when he was normal. He didn't say hello to Alma. Miriam, I told my mom that you were going to sign today. I'm driving to school. You always have an excuse. Alma spoke carefully. My mom doesn't make excuses. She has things to do. Omar let out a dry laugh. See? She's already learning to manipulate like you. Alma's cheeks turned red. I didn't. Don't talk to her like that, I said. Omar sighed. Get the girl off the phone. This is adult business. Alma lowered the volume, as if she wanted to disappear. We'll talk later, I said. And I hung up. That afternoon, upon entering the house, I found Omar in the kitchen with Yolanda. They had broken in again. Yolanda had brought her own pen. Alma stood still in the entryway. Yolanda smiled too much. There she is. Omar, he said. Hi, Alma. Go upstairs for a while. We're going to review some papers. My daughter spoke quietly but firmly. I don't want Grandma to be here. Yolanda's smile vanished. Pardon? Alma gripped the straps of her backpack. You said you didn't care. The kitchen went still. Omar stood up abruptly. Alma, that's enough. You don't talk to my mom like that. My daughter's eyes filled with tears, but she didn't cry. I didn't talk to her. I repeated what she said. Omar's face hardened. Upstairs. Now. Alma looked at me, hoping I would choose her. Alma, go wash your hands and start your homework, eh? I'll be up in a minute. She pressed her lips together and walked away slowly. Yolanda leaned toward Omar without lowering her voice. See? She's disrespectful. That girl is a problem. Omar didn't correct her, he just looked at me. Sign it. Let's not drag this out. Then Yolanda opened the folder to a page I hadn't seen. This authorization allows Omar to manage the trust and any disposal of assets. No, Yolanda's expression hardened. Miriam, don't be a fool. That money is just sitting there. Omar can invest it. It's Alma's. I already told you. I don't care about that girl. I care about the family's stability. Omar nodded. We need it. I need it. For what? He swallowed hard. We want to buy a bigger house. And I promised my mom I'd help her get caught up on her place. Besides, there are overdue payments. Overdue payments? He looked at Yolanda and then at the floor. Sign it, Miriam. Yolanda leaned in, her voice sharp. Your first husband is dead. That money is no use to him now. My skin went cold. Don't talk about him like that. It's the truth. Omar raised his voice slightly. You're being emotional. I looked back at the page. It wasn't a simple formality. It was a way to open a door around the protections Alma's father and I had left for her. They were asking me to hand over my daughter's future to people who had just told me they didn't care if she got hurt. I pushed the folder away. I'm not signing today. Omar's face tensed up. Yes, you are going to sign. I stood up. No, Yolanda narrowed her eyes. You're going to regret this. Omar stepped closer and lowered his voice. My wife doesn't understand these things. She's going to sign what we need. I looked at him, then at Yolanda, then toward the stairs where Alma's footsteps had stopped. I nodded slowly. All right. Omar let out a breath. Yolanda did too. I went upstairs and sat on Alma's bed. He was doing math problems with shaky pencil lines. Are you going to sign? I'm going to take care of it. Her eyes searched mine. I'll be fine. I put my hand over hers. Yes. Then I went to my closet and took out the folder I kept behind some scarves. There were the documents for Alma's trust, the ones Omar didn't know I had updated the year before. I didn't feel furious. I felt clear. At that moment, I stopped trying to convince them. On Thursday morning, I didn't argue. I packed Alma's lunch, braided her hair, and took her to school. The sky was gray, and the dry cold seeped through the windows. At the entrance, Alma held my hand longer than usual. Are you angry? No, I'm just focused. After watching her go in, I didn't head home. I drove downtown before traffic hit and went up to an estate and trust law firm. I don't have an appointment, I told the receptionist. I need to speak with a lawyer about a minor's trust and documents I am being pressured to sign, man. They asked me to wait. An associate saw me first and, shortly after, Marisol walked in, a lawyer. With thin glasses and a calm voice, she reviewed my documents. You are listed as the person authorized to give instructions for Alma's benefit, she said. The trust restricts any disposition to her direct benefit. That helps. My husband and his mother want me to sign a power of attorney and authorizations to intervene. Marisol raised her eyebrows. Without your cooperation, they can't touch it. But if you sign a broad power of attorney or poorly drafted authorization, they could try to pressure the bank's trust department. I want to prevent that. We can reinforce the instructions and send formal notices. We will go on record stating that no general power of attorney authorizes third parties to manage, dispose of, or modify Alma's trust without formal review and proven benefit to the minor. Do it, I said. She explained every sheet. She asked about Alma's age, her father's intentions, previous amendments, who the substitute was, and if Omar appeared anywhere. I answered without frills, because staying calm was the only thing I could control. Marisol pointed to the signature lines. This doesn't erase the problems, but it creates locks and alerts. If anyone tries to use those papers, the bank and the firm will be notified. I picked up the pen. I signed. Not Yolanda's folder, not Omar's plan. I signed the notices that placed a formal lock around Alma's trust. As I left, my cell phone vibrated 3 times. Omar. I didn't answer. I went to the school, asked to pick up Alma early, and took her to a simple cafe, the. She ordered French fries and ate as if she hadn't eaten well in days. Are we in trouble? No, we're setting rules that are actually followed. Omar is angry? I don't know. I'm not going to decide based on how he feels anymore. Alma nodded as if she were learning that idea. When we got home, Omar's car was in the driveway and Yolanda's was behind it. I hung up Alma's jacket and told her, go upstairs and get comfortable. If you hear voices, stay in your room. In the kitchen, Omar and Yolanda were sitting at my table with the folder open. "Where were you?" asked Omar. "Out." Yolanda narrowed her eyes. "You signed it." "I signed it." Omar's shoulders relaxed. "Good." Yolanda pushed the folder. "Then sign these two as well." "I didn't touch it." Omar frowned. "What do you mean you signed it?" "I took care of the trust for Alma." Yolanda's face went still. "What did you do?" "I didn't explain." Omar stepped closer. "Miriam, you can't make legal changes without telling me. Look at me." It was the only thing I said. And he understood. Omar looked at Yolanda. "Mom, you should go." Yolanda turned toward him. "Excuse me. Go home for now." She stood up so fast the chair scraped the floor. "You're choosing her over your own mother." Omar didn't answer. He clenched his jaw and looked at the floor. Yolanda grabbed her bag. "Don't expect me to help when this blows up." She walked out and slammed the door. Omar turned to me. "What did you do?" I opened my email and showed him the confirmation from Marisol's firm, just enough so he understood that there was already formal notice. He turned pale. "You blocked it?" "Yes." He swallowed hard. "My mom is going to go crazy." "Let her." "You're gonna ruin Christmas." "No, you guys already ruined it." Floorboards creaked upstairs. Alma had moved. I looked at Omar. "We can talk, but not with your mom here. And not while you keep pretending this was help." A week after leaving the formal notices, I was rinsing a mug when my cell phone rang. Unknown number. "Miss Miriam," a man said. "Yes, I'm an attorney from the firm listed on the power of attorney documents. I need to speak with Omar. There's a serious problem." Omar raised his head. I handed him the phone. "It's for you." He took it. "Yes, this is Omar." His face changed. Confusion, worry, and then fear. "What do you mean, attorney?" That's when everything started falling apart. He listened for less than a minute and hung up. "It was a lawyer from my mom's paperwork firm." "What did he say?" "They received a notice. Something about the trust with a minor as beneficiary and that no general power of attorney can be used to move it." He sounded agitated. "Good." His hands were shaking. "Why did he call me?" "Because you're listed as a contact on those documents. And because someone tried to do something that triggered an alert. My mom wouldn't do that. Your mom brought papers to my house. She said she didn't care about Alma and wanted me to hand over control. What you say she wouldn't do, she's already started." Then his cell phone rang again, he answered, with feigned calm. Well, he listened. His shoulders slumped. "Yes, I understand." "No, I didn't tell my mom to forge anything." His eyes locked onto mine. "Forge." The word landed in the kitchen like a blow. He hung up and looked at the floor. "Do they think someone tried to file a request to access funds with my forged signature? The firm is going to distance itself and document everything. I imagined Yolanda's smug smile and her yellow lashes. "So the lawyer is backing away." Omar nodded, shaken. "And he called you before this blew up in his face." He looked up. "Miriam, sit down." I did so slowly. I walked toward the stairs. "Alma, you can come down now." She appeared at the top in pajama pants and a sweatshirt, holding the railing. "Everything is fine. Come with me." She came down and sat next to me. Omar looked at her as if he didn't know what to say. Alma didn't look at him. She looked at me. "Are we safe?" "Yes." The next day, Friday, the cold crept in through the windows. I took Alma to school and returned. Omar was gone, and so was his car. On the table, he had left the folder open. I didn't touch it with my hands. I took photos of every page, signatures, dates, stamps, copies, and notes. Then I put it in a Ziploc bag and stored it next to Alma's birth certificate. Omar texted, "I'm at my mom's house. We have to talk tonight." I replied, "We can talk here, without her." Another message arrived. "She is very upset. You didn't have to do this." I wrote, "You guys did this." At noon, the school office called. "Mrs. Miriam, Mrs. Yolanda came to pick up Alma. She isn't on the authorized list, so we didn't release her. I gripped the phone. Thank you. Please, do not release her under any circumstances. The woman was annoyed. She said Omar had given her permission. I am her legal guardian. Neither Omar nor Yolanda can authorize that. Understood. We will make a note in the file. I went to the school, updated the authorized list, and added a security keyword with Alma, 2 simple words that meant everything was okay. Then I called Marisol from the parking lot. I need to document an attempt to pick up Alma without authorization. Send me the details by email. Date, time. Who called and what did the school say? No adjectives. Just facts. I did it with the glass fogged up by my breath. Then I understood it wasn't just the money. She also wanted to get close to Alma without going through me. That night, Omar returned alone. His face looked older. Can we not do this in front of Alma? I looked toward the living room, where my daughter was coloring in silence. She already knows. You're the one who hasn't realized it. My mom says you're using her as a weapon. Alma lifted her head. Alma isn't an argument, Omar. She's my daughter. He looked at her. Hello, Alma. She didn't answer. My mom went to your school. I nodded. Yes. She says she just wanted to help. I pulled the folder out of my bag and put it on the table. This is what your family calls helping, Miriam. Now, listen. Your mom tried to pick up my daughter from her school without being authorized. No. That is not a misunderstanding. Omar's voice cracked. She didn't mean to. That doesn't help me at all. She already did it, and it wasn't the first time. Omar slumped into a chair. The firm distanced itself from her. They said they can't continue if there's fraud. I waited. He looked up. I think she forged my name. The room went silent. Alma's crayon stopped. Did you know? Omar denied it quickly. No, I swear to you. She told me it was routine. That was what you told me? He shrank back. This is happening, I said. For now, you're going to stay somewhere else. What? You can go to your mom's or friends or wherever you can. But you're not sleeping here while you're still tied to her decisions. Miriam, please, it's Christmas. I looked at Alma and then at him. Precisely because of that. Omar walked through the kitchen and stopped. If I leave, you're going to tell everyone. I will tell the truth if I have to. I'm not looking for a fight. I'm protecting my daughter. I looked at Alma. She was watching him with a disappointment too adult for a 9-year-old. I didn't think my mom would go that far, he whispered. Because thinking about it would have forced you to stop her. Omar's shoulders sagged. Can I say goodbye? I nodded. He crouched down in front of Alma. I'm sorry. Alma pressed her lips together. Are you still on her side? Omar swallowed hard. I don't know how to do this. She nodded. So you shouldn't be making any decisions. Omar closed his eyes for a second, then grabbed a backpack from the closet and left without arguing. On Saturday, Yolanda sent me a message. Miriam, sweetheart, let's meet up. We can work this out. Omar is unwell and you are overreacting. Bring Alma to the house for hot chocolate. I didn't respond. An hour later, she wrote, Are you taking my granddaughter away from me? I stared at the word granddaughter. Yolanda had never called Alma that before. I replied, Do not contact Alma directly. Do not go to her school. All communication goes through me. Then I muted her. That day, Omar also didn't make the bi-weekly transfer to the joint account. In the afternoon, he confirmed what was already evident. My mom says you're going to shut me out of everything. I moved my deposit. I need to protect myself. I replied, I'm not shutting you out of everything. I am separating what you tried to take. I checked shared access, services, the secondary card, cell phone, and auto payments. I didn't cancel to punish, I canceled to stop the leaks. I left his line active for 7 days for him to transfer it. That night he showed up at the door. You canceled my card. I canceled your access to my credit. Mom said you were going to do this. Your mom got something right. I'm done letting myself be used. Where am I supposed to go? That's for you to figure out. You had time to plan when you were planning behind my back. Miriam, I love you. Love doesn't sound like you're gonna sign what we need. He looked toward the stairs. Alma was watching from the middle. Can I talk to her? Not today. Omar nodded slowly and left without slamming the door. It was the first time he accepted a boundary without arguing. On Sunday, my phone filled up with messages. An aunt of Omar's, a cousin, his older brother. Yolanda says you stole money from Omar. Yolanda says you won't let her see Alma. Yolanda says you are unstable. I didn't answer. I took screenshots and saved them in a folder called Facts. Then I wrote in the family WhatsApp group so that no more false stories would be told. Yolanda went to Alma's school on Friday without authorization. Omar and Yolanda brought documents to my house to try to gain control over Alma's trust. I consulted a lawyer and reinforced the protections. For her safety, Yolanda cannot contact Alma directly or pick her up. I ask you not to take any messages to my daughter. I put the phone down. Yolanda replied in all caps. How dare you? Are you lying? Omar's aunt wrote, Yolanda, did you go to the school? After Omar's brother, Mom, answer. Yolanda took several minutes. Everyone is turning against me because of her. There was no need to reply. Her silence had said more than her messages. On Monday, Omar arrived with a small gift bag. He stayed on the porch like a visitor. I brought Alma something. I didn't step aside. Say what you have to say first, he swallowed hard. My mom wanted me to come and convince you to sign something else. I told her no. I looked at him. You told her no? Yes. And I told her she can't go near Alma's school again. I let out a breath. Okay, can I give her this? 2 minutes. In the living room, Alma arrived cautiously. Omar handed her the bag. It was a plush fox and a gift card for a bookstore. Alma looked at him. You told your mom it was wrong. Yes. She watched him and nodded once. Okay, that was all she gave him. No forgiveness, no affection, just the acknowledgement of a step. On Christmas Eve, Alma and I started a new tradition. We drove through some lit-up streets, bought hot chocolate and listened to an audiobook in the car. We didn't do anything special. That's just what we needed. Upon returning, my phone vibrated. A message from Yolanda from another number. Merry Christmas. You won't hold on to him forever. I blocked it. Alma looked up from the armchair. Who was it? Yolanda. She tensed up. What did she say? She's upset. She can no longer control things. Alma nodded and went back to her book. That night my daughter read peacefully. For me, that was enough. A week later, met with me at a coffee shop to talk about logistics. He looked tired, as if he had finally understood the size of the damage. I'm going to rent an apartment for a few months, he said. I already made an appointment with a therapist and signed the document Marisol sent in. I am not going to mess with Alma's trust fund again. You did it voluntarily, I read it. I signed it. I took a sip of coffee. Good. Omar looked at me, searching for something I was no longer in a hurry to give him. Do you think we can fix this someday? I don't know, but Alma and I are safe. That is the foundation. The rest will be seen later. I am no longer going to decide out of fear. Omar nodded. For the first time, he didn't argue. When I picked up Alma that afternoon, she came running with her backpack bouncing on her back. Mom, guess what? I was invited to the art workshop. I smiled. That's amazing. She took my hand. We can celebrate with pizza? We can. And we're going to. We walked to the car under a cold winter sun. Everything wasn't fixed, but Alma walked by my side, calm. And for now, that was enough.